The sun was slowly going down when a group of bikers were riding back from a long trip. The road was empty, the wind was cool, and everything felt normal. But a few minutes later, something very strange happened, something none of them were ready for. As the bikers turned a sharp corner, they saw an old man standing in the middle of the road. At first, they thought he was lost or asking for a lift. But when they came closer, they noticed something different. The old man was shaking badly, his face full of fear, and tears shining in his eyes. One biker quickly stopped his bike and shouted, "Sir! Move! It's dangerous to stand here." But the old man didn't move. Instead, he lifted both his hands and whispered, "Please, please stop. I need help. They want to take my dog away." The bikers looked at each other, confused. They had heard many strange things on the road, but this was different. The old man's voice sounded broken, almost like he had been crying for hours. The oldest biker in the group stepped forward and asked, "Who wants to take your dog, sir?" The old man looked behind him, toward a small broken house near the road. The windows were cracked, the paint was peeling off, and the front door was half open. Something about that house felt wrong, very wrong. "They are inside," the old man whispered. "They said they will take my buddy. They will come out any minute." His voice shook even more. "I tried to stop them. I begged them. But they don't care. They want him, and I don't know what to do." The bikers were silent. What kind of men break into an old man's home to steal a dog? The old man suddenly grabbed the biker's jacket and said in a trembling voice, "Please help me. Buddy is all I have. They will take him away, and I will have nothing left." The fear in his eyes felt real. It was not the fear of losing a pet, it was the fear of losing family. One biker told the group, "We can't leave him like this. Something is wrong here." Another biker looked at the house. The door moved slightly, as if someone had just pushed it. A loud thud came from inside. Then a voice, rough and angry, shouted something they couldn't understand. The old man quickly stepped back. "They are coming," he whispered. "Please, don't let them take him." The bikers moved closer to the old man, forming a small circle around him. They didn't know who they were, or why they wanted the dog so badly. But they could feel the tension in the air. Something dangerous was hiding in that small house. One biker quietly asked, "Sir, why would anyone want to take your dog? Is your dog special?" The old man shook his head fast. "No. Buddy is just a sweet dog. He never hurt anyone. He is small and friendly. But they say he has something they want." He paused as if scared to continue. "I don't know what it is. I don't understand." Another loud noise came from the house. Something crashed, maybe a chair or a table. The bikers turned their heads sharply toward the sound. Then they saw a shadow inside the house. Someone was walking toward the open door. The old man gasped and grabbed the biker's hand tightly. "Please, they will see me. Hide me, please." The bikers quickly moved him behind their bikes, using the motorcycles as a shield. The sound of footsteps grew louder. Heavy steps, slow but angry. One biker whispered, "Get ready. Whoever is inside is not friendly." The old man covered his face with his hands, his body shaking like a leaf. He whispered again, "They want to take my buddy, and I don't know why." The door of the house creaked open fully. A tall man stepped out, and he didn't look kind at all. The bikers felt their heartbeat rise. They had no idea what they were about to get involved in, but one thing was clear. This was not just about a dog. This was something much darker. The tall man who stepped out of the broken house looked around angrily. His eyes were sharp, his beard thick, and his hands covered in dust. He did not look like a person who would listen to anyone. He looked like trouble. The bikers stayed quiet, watching him carefully. The old man hid behind the bikes, bending his head low, as if even one look from that man would break him. The tall man shouted, "Old man! Come out! We know you're here. Give us the dog, or we will take everything you have." The old man covered his ears. His hands trembled so much that one biker put a hand on his shoulder to calm him. "Sir, what is going on? Why are they after your dog?" he asked in a low voice. The old man took a deep breath. His voice was weak and shaky. "I live alone," he said. "My wife died years ago, my children moved far away. Buddy is the only one who stayed with me. He's my family, my friend. I raised him when he was just a small, hungry puppy." He paused, wiping his eyes. "I never thought anyone would want to harm him." The tall man kicked the door behind him, still shouting. 2 more men came out of the house. All 3 looked wild and angry. One biker whispered, "These people look dangerous. They won't leave without a fight." Another biker nodded. "We need to understand why they want the dog." The old man slowly sat down on a rock, his breath heavy as if every word hurt him. "It all started 3 months ago," he said. "Buddy came home one night acting strange. He kept barking at me, pulling my shirt like he wanted to show me something. He looked at the bikers, his eyes full of pain. I followed him outside. He took me behind a big tree. There, I found something tied around his collar. A small black memory card." The bikers exchanged confused looks. "A memory card?" one asked. "What was inside it?" "I didn't know," the old man replied. "I don't have a computer. I thought maybe some child lost it. I put it in a small box and forgot about it." He wiped his nose and continued. "But a few days later, these men came to my door. They asked me if I saw anything strange with my dog. I said no. But they kept coming back, every week, asking the same thing." The bikers listened closely. Something about this didn't feel normal. The old man's voice cracked. "Last night, they broke in. They searched every part of my house. They turned my table, my cupboard, everything upside down. They shouted at me, threatened me, even pushed me." He held his chest like remembering the fear again. "Buddy barked at them," he said softly. "He tried to protect me. So they tried to catch him. That's when I grabbed Buddy and ran out of the house. I hid behind the barn. But Buddy ran off somewhere into the woods." He looked around helplessly. "I think they believe Buddy still has something they need. I don't know what. I don't know why." The bikers stayed silent, trying to process the strange story. A simple dog, a simple old man, and a mysterious memory card that brought danger to his door. The tall man stepped forward suddenly, making everyone jump. "I know you're hiding, old man," he yelled. "Give us the dog, and we leave. Don't play games with us." One biker stepped out from behind his bike and faced the tall man. "You need to stop shouting," he said firmly. "This old man is scared. Tell us why you want his dog." The tall man laughed darkly. "Why? Because that dog has something that belongs to us." The bikers looked at each other. The old man was right, this wasn't just anger. This was about that secret memory card. The tall man pointed his finger at them. "Stay out of this. This is not your problem." But the bikers stood their ground. One biker replied. "It is our problem now." The tall man's smile faded. "Then you all made a big mistake." The situation was turning darker than any of them expected. And the truth was only beginning. The air felt heavier as the tall man took another slow step toward the bikers. His boots crushed pieces of broken wood on the ground, making a sharp cracking sound with every step. The other 2 men followed him, their eyes full of anger and impatience. The bikers formed a straight line in front of the old man, blocking the men's path. No one spoke for a few seconds. The only sound was the wind blowing through the dry grass, making the moment more tense. Finally, one biker said, "Stop right there. If you want something, talk like normal people." The tall man smirked. "Normal people? Do I look normal to you?" he asked in a sarcastic tone. He turned his head toward the old man hiding behind the bikes. "You think hiding him will save him? We will take the dog. With or without your help." The old man shook his head slowly, whispering, "Please don't let them get Buddy, please." One biker stepped a little forward. "Why do you want the dog? Tell the truth." The tall man cracked his knuckles and said, "Fine. Listen carefully. 3 months ago, something went wrong in our business. Someone recorded things they were not supposed to record. That memory card has important files. Files that can destroy everything we built." The bikers exchanged serious looks. So this was not about a normal crime. This was something big, bigger than the old man understood. The tall man continued. "We looked everywhere. But the card disappeared. It was with one of our own men, until he vanished. We found his body near the forest. And guess what? A dog was seen around him." The old man gasped loudly. "Buddy. Buddy must have found him first." "That's right," the tall man said. "Your useless dog picked up the card. Maybe he thought it was a toy. Maybe he smelled something. Who knows? But that dog has something that belongs to us." The old man tried to speak but his voice broke. I didn't know. I didn't know what it was." The short man standing behind the tall leader shouted. "You should have given it to us when we asked. Instead, you hid it." "I didn't hide anything," the old man cried. "I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I only wanted to protect Buddy." The tall man raised his voice. "You want to protect a dog? Fine. But understand this, that card is worth more than your house, more than your life. If we don't get it back, we lose everything. And when people like us lose everything, we burn everything in our way." The bikers could see the truth in his eyes. This man was ready to do anything, even hurt the old man. One biker whispered, "These guys are serious criminals." Another nodded, "And they won't stop." The tallest biker stepped out boldly and said, "Even if that's true, you can't threaten an old man. He didn't steal your card." The tall man laughed coldly. "He didn't steal it. But he has it. Or his dog does." Suddenly he clicked his fingers. "Go search the outside again," he ordered his men. "That dog must be hiding somewhere close." The two men ran toward the trees and bushes, searching every corner. The old man watched them with fear. "Buddy is smart," he whispered. "He must be hiding. But they will find him, they always find him." A biker leaned toward him. "Sir, think slowly. Where does Buddy go when he's scared? Does he have a special place?" The old man wiped his tears. Yes, he goes behind the old barn, near the big stones. He always hides there during storms." One biker looked toward the back area of the property. "We should find him before they do." But the tall man overheard them. He smiled and said, "Thank you for the information." He signaled to his men, who immediately changed direction and ran toward the barn. The old man panicked. "No. They will hurt him. Please stop them." The tall man pointed at the bikers. "Stay out of this if you want to stay alive." The bikers looked at each other. This had gone far enough. One biker tightened his gloves. "Not today," he said firmly. The bikers stepped forward, prepared to face the men. The tall man's expression changed. Anger flashed in his eyes. "Fine," he said. "You want war? Then let's start." The danger was no longer coming, it had arrived. The tall man's order echoed across the empty land as his two men rushed toward the old barn. The bikers watched them disappear behind the trees, and for a moment, everything went quiet. The air felt cold, heavy, and filled with danger. The old man grabbed one biker's arm. Please find Buddy first. They will hurt him. He is innocent. He knows nothing. One biker placed a hand on the old man's shoulder. Sir, we won't let anything happen to him. But you need to stay calm. Tell us everything you remember. The old man nodded slowly, his breath uneven. Buddy is small, but fast. He always hides behind the big stones near the old barn. He feels safe there. He thinks no one can find him. The bikers looked at each other. They had no time to lose. Meanwhile, the tall man crossed his arms and watched with an arrogant smile. You bikers think you're heroes, he said. But you don't know what you're dealing with. One biker asked sharply. Then tell us. What is on that memory card? The tall man laughed softly, a cold laugh that made the old man step back. That card has names, numbers, recordings, everything. People who paid us, people who owe us, people who work with us. If it falls in the wrong hands, our whole operation dies. The bikers exchanged worried glances. Whatever was on that card was big, huge. Enough for these men to chase a harmless dog. But why attack an old man? One biker asked. Because he didn't give back what fell into his dog's mouth, the tall man snapped. And because we don't trust anyone. When we want something, we take it. His voice was ice cold. No mercy. No guilt. But one biker stepped closer, refusing to back down. You didn't even ask what the old man went through. Look around, your men destroyed his home. You scared him half to death. We don't care about old men, the tall man replied. We care about business. The old man closed his eyes, feeling helpless. If only Buddy hadn't found that card, none of this would happen, he whispered. One biker said softly, it wasn't Buddy's fault. Then he turned to the others. Let's go. We find the dog first. The group of bikers slowly walked toward the barn area, staying alert. The ground was uneven, filled with broken branches and tall grass. Every step felt heavy with fear and tension. As they reached the barn, they heard rustling sounds. Search everywhere, one of the criminals shouted. We will find that stupid dog. The bikers hid behind a large broken tractor and watched the two men digging through bushes and grass. Their movements were rough, their tempers high. Suddenly, a soft bark echoed, very faint, but clear enough. The old man gasped. That's Buddy, that's my buddy. One biker held his hand up. Stay here, sir. Let us check first. They moved quietly, following the sound. One biker pointed to a big stone formation behind the barn. Something small moved behind it. Another bark, this time louder. But before they could reach it, one of the criminals spotted the same movement. There, he shouted. He is behind the stones. The men ran fast. The bikers rushed too. The old man shouted. No. Don't hurt him. The tall man stood far behind, watching everything from a distance with a cruel smile. Good. Bring me the dog. Finally. One biker jumped ahead, trying to block the criminals. But the short criminal pushed him hard, yelling. Move. That dog belongs to us now. Buddy barked loudly, frightened, but brave. The bikers could see his small head peeking from behind the rocks, eyes wide with fear. One criminal stretched his hands to grab him. But something unexpected happened. Buddy ran. He jumped over the stones and darted straight into the bushes. He was fast, much faster than anyone thought. Catch him, the tall man shouted. The bikers ran after him. The criminals ran too. Everyone chased the tiny dog who carried the secret of the memory card. The old man stood frozen, heart pounding. "Buddy, please be safe." Far ahead, Buddy's bark echoed again. It wasn't a scared bark this time. It was a warning. Something else was waiting deeper inside the woods. Something none of them expected. The chase had only begun. Buddy's small paws moved fast across the forest floor, kicking up dust as he ran deeper into the woods. The bikers followed close behind, their boots pounding the ground. Behind them, the three dangerous men pushed through branches and bushes, shouting angrily. The old man stood far behind near the barn, his hands shaking. He could not run fast, but his heart ran faster than anyone's. "Buddy, don't stop," he whispered. In the woods, one biker shouted. "There! I see him, behind the fallen tree." Buddy paused for a moment, looking back at them with wide, scared eyes. His ears twitched. Something else was in the forest, something he sensed before any human did. One biker moved closer. "Easy, Buddy, we're here to help." But before he could reach the dog, a loud snap echoed. Someone stepped on a dry branch behind them. The tall man appeared with a sharp grin. "Looks like the little hero is cornered." The bikers quickly formed a protective circle around Buddy. "Stop right there," the tallest biker said firmly. "You're not taking him." The tall man frowned. "You really think you can protect him from us? Look around. You're stuck in the woods, far from the road. No one is coming to help you." One biker stepped forward. "We don't need help." The tall man raised his hand, signaling his men. "Bring me the dog." The two criminals moved forward. Branches broke under their heavy steps. Their eyes were fixed on Buddy. But then, Buddy growled softly and backed away. His tail pointed straight, his body stiff. It was a warning sign, not against the men, but against something behind the trees. One biker noticed. Buddy is looking at something else. The criminals ignored it. They just wanted the dog. One of them lunged forward. But suddenly, a deep growling sound came from behind the bushes. Everyone froze. The sound was loud, angry, and close. A moment later, a wild dog, bigger and stronger, stepped out of the shadow. Its fur was dark, eyes bright and sharp. It seemed it had been watching them for a while. Buddy barked at the wild dog, as if trying to warn it or protect the bikers. But the criminals panicked. One of them shouted. "What is that? Move back." The tall man grabbed a stick lying on the ground. "I don't care about a wild dog. Focus on the small one." But the wild dog growled again, louder this time, and stepped closer. Its presence changed everything. One biker whispered. "Don't move. It might attack if we make a wrong move." But the criminals were too impatient. The short criminal threw a rock at the wild dog. The rock hit a tree, and the animal snapped. It barked aggressively and charged toward the criminals. The bikers pulled the old man's dog close and moved aside. The criminals screamed and tried to run, but the wild dog chased one of them, causing chaos. Branches fell. Dust rose. Shoes slipped on wet leaves. In that moment of confusion, Buddy slipped out from the biker's hands and ran toward a hidden spot behind a large old tree. One biker followed him. "Buddy! Wait!" Buddy stopped near a big flat stone and began scratching the ground. He dug quickly, sending dirt flying. Something was buried there. The biker knelt beside him. "What are you digging?" Then he saw it. A small cloth bag. Buddy pulled the bag out with his teeth and dropped it on the biker's shoes. "What's inside?" another biker asked. The biker slowly opened the bag. Inside were multiple memory cards. A small USB drive. And a bundle of cash. The bikers stared in shock. This is more than one card, one whispered. Buddy barked softly, as if saying, this is what they want. The tall man finally pushed through the bushes again, breathless but angry. His eyes widened when he saw the bag. Give me that. Now. But the bikers didn't move. One of them held up the memory cards. So these are your secrets? More than one. The tall man's face turned red. You don't understand. Those are enough to send dozens of people to prison. Give them to me or... He couldn't finish his sentence because a siren echoed from far away. Police sirens. The tall man froze. His men froze. The bikers looked at each other, surprised. Who called the police? A biker whispered. From the distance, the old man slowly walked into the woods with his phone in his trembling hand. I did, he said quietly. I was scared, but I had to do something. Buddy barked happily and ran to him. The tall man clenched his fists. This isn't over. But it was. Because the police were getting closer, fast. What happened next would shock all of them. The police sirens grew louder as the sound traveled through the forest. Birds flew out from the trees, startled by the noise. The tall man's face changed from anger to shock, then to pure panic. His two men, still shaken from the wild dog chase, looked at him for guidance. What do we do now? One whispered. The tall man clenched his jaw. Stay calm. We can still fix this. But everyone could see the fear in his eyes. Things were no longer in his control. The bikers stood firmly between him and the old man, their stance strong and fearless. Buddy stayed close to the old man's feet, growling softly whenever the dangerous men moved even an inch. A minute later, police vehicles arrived near the barn, their lights flashing bright red and blue. Officers stepped out quickly, holding flashlights and weapons. One officer shouted. Everyone, stay where you are. Hands visible. The tall man's men lifted their hands immediately. They knew running was useless now. But the tall man still tried to act bold. Officer, this is a mistake. These bikers attacked us. We were only here to get our property. The officer looked at the bikers. Is that true? Before the bikers could speak, the old man stepped forward, shaking but determined. No, officer. They are lying. These men broke into my house. They tried to hurt me, and they tried to steal my dog. The tall man snapped. He's lying. We didn't break into anything. One biker raised the cloth bag with the memory cards. Then what about this? This was hidden under the ground. The dog led us to it. The officers moved closer. What is inside the bag? The biker opened it carefully, showing the memory cards and USB drive. These men were chasing the dog because they wanted these. The officers exchanged serious looks. One of them immediately called the station. We found evidence. Looks like organized crime files. The tall man's face turned pale. That is nothing. Just trash. One officer stepped closer. Then you won't mind if we check what's on the cards. The tall man finally broke. No. Don't touch those. They're mine. And just like that, his entire lie collapsed. The officers handcuffed him quickly. You're under arrest for breaking and entering, property damage, and suspected involvement in criminal activities. His two men were also handcuffed and taken toward the vehicles. The old man watched with tears in his eyes. After weeks of fear, after hiding, after running. The nightmare was finally ending. Buddy barked happily, wagging his tail. One biker bent down and petted him. You're one brave little guy. The old man smiled weakly. He saved me, he always saves me. An officer approached the old man gently. Sir, you're safe now. We'll take these memory cards as evidence. You won't have to deal with these men again. The old man nodded slowly. Thank you so much. The bikers gathered around him. You did the right thing calling the police, one of them said. The old man looked at Buddy, then at the bikers. I was afraid, but when I saw you protecting me, I felt strong enough. Buddy rubbed his head against the old man's leg, as if saying, You're never alone. One biker asked. What will you do now, sir? Your house needs repair. The old man sighed. Yes. I don't have much. But I will try. Another biker smiled. Don't worry. We can help. The other bikers agreed instantly. They offered to fix the old man's door, clean his house, and even bring him food supplies. The old man's eyes filled with fresh tears, this time from gratitude, not fear. You are all angels to me, he whispered. I don't know how to thank you. You don't have to, a biker replied. Buddy already thanked us with that big rescue. Everyone laughed softly. The sun began to rise slowly, lighting the forest with a warm golden glow. It felt like a new beginning, a peaceful one. As the police took the criminals away, the old man sat on a small rock with Buddy in his lap. He stroked his dog's fur gently. You kept our secret safe, he whispered. You protected me. Buddy closed his eyes, enjoying the warmth of his owner's hand. A biker looked at them and said quietly. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes, sometimes they have 4 paws. The old man smiled proudly. And just like that, the long, dangerous night came to an end. Justice was served. A lonely man found help. And a small dog became the hero of a story no one would ever forget.